Every tragedy brings miracles. I want to call your attention to one miracle. In 2 days, the cantor learned the Ukrainian national anthem. I think that's pretty miraculous. And Rabbi Sherman brought together all these faith communities. And what I want to say to you is that everybody here has prayed for peace, and we certainly all pray for peace, but that doesn't mean you're not allowed to be angry. There is good cause to be angry. Anger is not hate. Anger is indignation at the wanton destruction of life, at the creation of refugees, men, women, and children, at the obliteration of buildings and monuments that took years and lives to build. This was an act of enormous cynicism and cruelty. And as somebody who is not Ukrainian, I feel free to be able to say how angry we should feel on behalf of the Ukrainian people at the wreckage that has been loosed on their country, and the flimsy and ridiculous pretense under which that wreckage has been loosed. The great Irish philosopher and political theorist Edmund Burke said that all that is necessary for the triumph of evil is for good people to do nothing. And if we do nothing, then we enable evil to triumph. So part of what we want to do in this evening is not only pray, but mobilize all of our consciences to continue to pay attention, to continue to contribute. I received a check just as I came in today from one of our members for $25,000 for Ukrainian relief. We've collected others, and we will collect more and give it to all the organizations that have been mentioned tonight that we know are doing real work on the ground in Ukraine. Because had my great-grandparents not decided to come to America, I would have been Ukrainian if I would have been lucky enough to be alive. And how proud we feel that a Ukrainian and a Jew is standing up for the conscience of the world. That Zelensky has combined both of those heritages to say that this is wrong and the world cannot allow this to happen to a country that wants no more than to live in freedom and be in peace. But there is another possibility had my great-grandparents not come to the United States, and that is that I would not have survived, that there would have been no me because there would have been no grandparents. And so I think it is impossible for any Jew to think about Ukraine, to think about Russia, to think about destruction in Europe, and not think about the Shoah, about the Holocaust. And so to the Ukrainians of today, who are not our antagonists, but are fighting for their own freedom, I offer them a story from Auschwitz that I have told to our congregation, but cannot be said often enough, and circles back to the beautiful remarks that Rabbi Sherman made at the beginning. There was a rabbi in England who died a few years ago. His name was Hugo Gryn, and he was a child in Auschwitz. And he was with his father when Hanukkah, when the Festival of Lights came around in December, and his father took the margarine ration that they were supposed to eat and used it as oil to light the Hanukkah candle. And Gryn, who was so young at the time, was very upset with his father, and he said, "How can you do that? That's our food. That's what we need to live." And his father said something to him that he repeated again and again the rest of his life. He said, "My child, we have learned that you can live for 3 weeks without food, and you can live for 3 days without water, but you cannot live for 3 minutes without hope." So to our Ukrainian brothers and sisters, we say, we have seen the worst, and we still believe in hope. And we still believe in God, and we still pray for peace.